I rate your backstroke, and I know from looking at it, you're not very comfortable on your back. Um, just I'll just look at the first pass. The leg kick technically is decent, but you can see all that stuff that's going on with your legs that they just kind of stop for time to time. Number one enemy that you're dealing with in camp is this loss of balance issue. And when you go through that area where you're just not holding water on one side or the other. So I'm just going to go, these legs kind of clank on top right here, this position right here. It's always the same place, and it's not doesn't have anything to do with this right arm. So this right arm going in right here, that right arm is fine. It's really the net result of what happens with your left side. So the left side is causing these legs to kind of stop and truncate what they're doing. Causes you to swim with a little bit of a curve in your back, which you can work on and improve. You tend to be a little bit downhill, but not bad. The leg kick, to be honest with you, technically it's doing what I would like to see a leg kick do. Not too deep with the hips, everything the way it should be. But again, what's going on with that drop, and I feel like this leg kick's not nearly as effective as it could or should be. So I'm just going to go back to just this beginning section and look at this arm. This arm doesn't hold the water very well. It's not free. It's kind of deep, goes down too deep. See, it goes down way down below the surface of the water. So when you get down that deep, to get it out, it just slides. It just does not hold. So that section there is kind of like your butterfly. All of a sudden, boom, it just slides. It doesn't hold any water at all, and I'll blow it up a little. And I know it makes it grainy, but again, from this point, you're actually doing a pretty good job of setting an anchor position. And then, because it's so deep, it slides upwards, and that slide just makes you lose the water, and that causes the legs to sort of eventually go clang, right? So the idea is that what you need to do is really double on backstroke. I'm going to put a couple of things up here. I think kicking with a good scissor kick, and I'm just going to put this scissor kick up here. Kicking with a really strong scissor kick is really important because it just helps. Number one, it puts you in a position where it really helps strengthen these hamstrings, and I think the hamstrings need a lot of work with regard to the strength of your legs. So without the strength of your legs, it really makes your backstroke kicking kind of a little weaker, and it doesn't give you a really good body position, and that leads to other issues. I feel like if you did double arm backstroke and you worked it as a main staple with what you're doing, then this anchor position, this left side anchor position, is going to sort itself out. It will just naturally get to where you want to be. It will naturally sort of end up where the right arm is, and again, I love where the right arm is with regard to what it's doing. It's kind of in that position where you want it to be. That, grabbing a piece of water, just make sure it's again anchored into the side. You don't need to rotate the body as much. You can keep it flatter. I'm going to throw up this kick to swim so that again you can kind of see how shallow the hips are, and again, I feel like you have this basic kicking pattern, but you're not really managing your anchor positions very well on either side, and the double arm strength and even strengthening your legs as well, I think will be an essential component of getting better with your backstroke. So let's take a look at what it looks like in comparison. So here's the comparison, and again, the 17 version is always going to be on the top. I've synced them up. You can pretty much look at your body. I'm sorry it's a little grainy on the bottom. Sometimes these cameras focus in and out, but you're clearly creating a much stronger anchor position up top. So now you can see really well how this anchor position is getting very strong. Hand is an extension of the forearm. My drawing sucks, but such is life. But you can see this hand right here. You can see the difference. Just look at the difference in how this wing and this anchor position here, how strong that one is compared to this hand. This is kind of sliding through the water and letting go of the water completely. So you've definitely strengthened up. You can see you're rotating a lot less, a lot better balance on in terms of what you're doing. But there's no question there's a tremendous amount of improvement in what you're doing. So not far away. I think really the main thing here is just double arm backstroke will put you in a position where you'll establish a much better anchor position on that left side, and then just mirror what you're doing with your right side, and the backstroke will get a lot better. But I still feel like the general aspect of what the legs are doing, leg kick wise, yes, they're losing balance to some degree with what you're doing. But to be honest with you, Rachel, let's see. Let me get out of this. It's just with what you're doing is a combination of that anchor position, but these legs have to get stronger. They're kicking technically correctly, but they have to get stronger and work on those at the same time.